Welcome to Hockeywiztalks podcast. Today I'll be previewing the Wildcard round of the NFL playoffs. AFC Wildcard round. The first matchup in the AFC Wildcard round is between the New England Patriots and the Tennessee Titans. The key players in this matchup are for New England, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Sony Michel, James White, Bill Belichick, and the New England defense. Key players for the Tennessee Titans: Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Logan Ryan, Jarrell Casey, and Harold Landry III. The New England Patriots have dominated the AFC for the past 2 decades, and they hope to carry that momentum into 2020. However, it will be a tough road through the AFC, as they have to find a way to stop Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Tom Brady might not be the same Tom Brady anymore, but he is still the winningest quarterback in NFL history. Even though Brady is no longer a quarterback that can outscore any team, he is still a fantastic game manager, and the Patriots also have a terrific defense that can shut down any team. Speaking of their defense, the Patriots have allowed the fewest yards per game in the league this season, and have also forced the most turnovers as well. That defense will be tested because they have to stop Derrick Henry, who rushed for 1,540 yards this season, along with 16 rushing touchdowns this season. If the Patriots can slow down Derrick Henry, that will force the Titans to have to beat them with Ryan Tannehill. Even though Tannehill has had a great regular season this year, I don't think he is the type of quarterback that can go out and beat the Patriots. This matchup obviously favors the Patriots because it's being played in New England and they have more overall playoff experience than the Titans. But that doesn't mean the Titans can't pull an upset in the playoffs, because in the playoffs, anything is possible. New England Patriots win if Tom Brady is playoff Tom Brady and the Patriots defense can shut down Derrick Henry. Tennessee Titans win if Derrick Henry and Tennessee's rushing attack can run the ball effectively and keep Tom Brady off the field. My prediction is that the New England Patriots win 30-17. The second wildcard matchup in the AFC is between the Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills. Key players in this matchup for the Houston Texans: Deshaun Watson, Carlos Hyde, DeAndre Hopkins, Whitney Mercilus, Zach Cunningham, and Benardrick McKinney. For the Buffalo Bills: Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, Frank Gore, John Brown, Cole Beasley, and the Buffalo Bills defense. This wildcard matchup isn't very attractive on paper, but it might actually turn into a really good football game. It features a young star quarterback and one of the game's premier young receivers going up against a stingy Buffalo Bills defense. Playing without J.J. Watt, the Houston Texans will need other players in the defensive front to step up. They will also need Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins to play like superstars against the stingy Bills defense that has allowed the third least yards per game in the NFL. Of all of the wildcard matchups, this one has the most upset potential because of the Bills' defensive front, which includes Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, Shaq Lawson, and Trent Murphy. They also have a great secondary anchored by Tre'Davious White and Jordan Poyer. Josh Allen will be the key to winning this matchup for the Bills. If he can be a solid quarterback and not turn the ball over, the Bills will win this game. Even though the Houston Texans are favorites, I think this matchup actually favors the Bills because the Texans don't have J.J. Watt and the Bills' defense is elite. Houston Texans win if Deshaun Watson plays like a superstar and carries the team to a victory. Buffalo Bills win if the defense can slow down Deshaun Watson and Josh Allen is a solid quarterback. My prediction is that the Buffalo Bills win 21-17. Check out my fantasy sports blog at hockeywiztalksfantasy.blogspot.com. Check out my Facebook page at Mr. Hockeywiz777 and my Instagram, Mr. Hockeywiz77. NFL Wildcard Round. The first wildcard matchup in the NFC is between the New Orleans Saints and the Minnesota Vikings. Key players in this matchup for the New Orleans Saints: Drew Brees, Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Cameron Jordan, Marshawn Lattimore, Marcus Williams, and Sean Payton. Key players for the Minnesota Vikings: Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Daniel Hunter, Everson Griffin, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith, and Anthony Harris. The Saints are a high-powered offense led by Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara, while the Minnesota Vikings are a well-balanced team that has very few weaknesses on their team. The New Orleans Saints have a high-powered offense. They are 7th in passing yards per game and have the second most touchdowns in the league. Their defense is 3rd in sacks and have created the second most turnovers, but they have allowed 21.3 points per game, which is 13th in the league. Drew Brees and Michael Thomas are a dynamic duo, so the Minnesota Vikings will need to find a way to slow that tandem down. If they manage to do that, they will also have to deal with Alvin Kamara out of the backfield. The Minnesota Vikings are known for their defense. They are 5th in the league in points allowed per game. The Vikings are also 5th in the league in sacks and are 5th in the league in turnovers. Kirk Cousins is the key for the Minnesota Vikings because they have a dynamic running back in Dalvin Cook and 2 great receivers in Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen. Cousins needs to play his best because Drew Brees and the Saints aren't going to get shut down. The New Orleans Saints are favored in this matchup because of Drew Brees. In the playoffs, the team that has the better quarterback usually wins the matchup. New Orleans Saints win if Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara play like superstars and their playmakers on defense are difference makers. Minnesota Vikings win if Dalvin Cook takes control of the game and the defense can slow down the high-powered Saints offense. My prediction is that the New Orleans Saints win 31-28. The second NFC wildcard matchup is between the Philadelphia Eagles and Seattle Seahawks. Key players in this matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles: Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Zach Ertz, Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Malcolm Jenkins, and Doug Peterson. For the Seattle Seahawks: Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Jadeveon Clowney, Trey Flowers, and Pete Carroll. This is a matchup between 2 of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL in Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson. Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles had a rough start to the season, but have won their last 4 games. On the other hand, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks have the better record, but have lost their last 2 games. Miles Sanders has emerged as a force in the backfield for the Eagles. He will need to bring his A game if the Eagles want to win this game. The Philadelphia Eagles are severe underdogs because they are going up against a quarterback who is proven in the playoffs, and a Seattle Seahawks team that is hungry to prove they can win after breaking up the Legion of Doom. Even though Carson Wentz is not playoff proven yet, he is eager to prove he is an elite quarterback in the playoffs, going up against one of the premier quarterbacks in Russell Wilson. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is 10th in the NFL in yards allowed per game and have allowed an average of 22.1 points per game. Russell Wilson will have to carry a defense that has given up an average of 381 yards per game and have allowed 24.9 points per game. In the absence of Chris Carson, they will need Rashad Penny and Marshawn Lynch to step up. On paper, this matchup favors the Seattle Seahawks slightly because they have the better record and the better quarterback. However, the Philadelphia Eagles have that underdog mentality and are a hot team entering the playoffs. Philadelphia Eagles win if Carson Wentz plays like a star quarterback and their defense can slow down Russell Wilson. Seattle Seahawks win if Russell Wilson plays like playoff Russell Wilson and their defense plays well. My prediction is that the Philadelphia Eagles win 28-24. In my next podcast, I preview the divisional round of the NFL playoffs.